Hi, and welcome back to Bean Talk. Today I'm gonna tell you why you should go naked, at least when it comes to your portafilter. If you're new to our channel, our name is Bean Talk Coffee News and we like to talk about all things coffee. Whether this is about coffee gear like today, or talking to people from the industry or visiting coffee festivals, we like to do it all. If you're a coffee geek just like us, please hit the subscribe and the like button, it would mean a lot. And yeah, and you could go and check out our other videos. All right, so what different kind of portafilters are there even? So let's start with our regular double spouted portafilter. As the name says, it has a double spout, and so it's used for making 2 espresso or 1 double espresso, obviously. This is kind of like the common thing people use and have been using, but there's also the single spout one, and I briefly want to address this. While you can actually make a single espresso with this, I would not recommend it. It's not an even extraction, which comes down to the filter itself, which has like a little conical kind of form. You're not gonna get as even of an extraction as with a double spouted portafilter or a naked portafilter. Talking about the naked portafilter, the main difference of course being that it doesn't have a bottom. So that's why it's also called the bottomless portafilter. I believe the first ones were actually made by baristas when they started cutting this off. The advantage, the first one obviously being it looks super cool. That's also the biggest feature I'd say. When you make a double espresso with it, which I'll make here in a second, you can actually look at the extraction, which can be a very, very pleasant thing to watch. So yeah, I think we should probably start with doing that. So of course we wait. All right. One big, very important thing about using a naked portafilter is you have to work very carefully and distribute your coffee quite well. You can go full puck prep on this one. So like use a WDT distributor, then a regular distributor to kind of get it nice and even, and then we're gonna temp it. Let's go for an espresso shot. And when you watch from down here, you can see how the coffee slowly saturates and they actually start extracting. And in the ideal case, you get one nice stream. There shouldn't be any other smaller streams or something splashing around and spraying you, but it should be all just one single stream. If you work well, it should look like this. The cup is somewhat clean. I mean, there's a little bit of spray, but not too much. While this was a quite nicely extracted coffee, if I can say that for myself, we'll try what happens if you don't use distributors and if you don't temp it evenly. So we're gonna once again take our portafilter. All right, so this is very difficult for me to not distribute it nicely or even do leveling with my fingers. I wanna kind of ruin the coffee. I'm gonna take my temper and mess it up. So what happens if I do it like this, for example? So don't do an even temp. So this looks horrible. It almost breaks my heart doing this. Let's see what happens if we try to extract the coffee now. It's probably gonna spray around a whole lot. So if you compare this to the first coffee, you see there's coffee all over. We sprayed it everywhere. It looked horrible. I'm probably gonna have nightmares today. But yeah, that's why I need to be super, super careful. This looks horrible. I don't think we have to discuss this furthermore. But with espresso machines, like with the Slayer Espresso, for example, where you have some sort of pre-infusion or pre-brew function, you can actually kind of mild it down a little, because you're gonna saturate the coffee first and then you're gonna have a more even extraction. My suggestion, if you use a naked portafilter and you have some sort of pre-infusion or pre-brew function on your espresso machine, definitely use it. It's gonna make it more easy to have a nice and even extraction. If you mess up, you're gonna see it. It's very simple to see your mistakes. Once the coffee starts spraying around and is all over, or you can see some sort of channeling when you have like 2 streams instead of 1, or even if it goes like perpendicular into one direction. You know you messed up some sort of the prep. That's one reason why you should or should not use a portafilter. It's up to you. And then one other thing is, it's super easy to clean. If you compare it to a regular portafilter, you always are going to have some sort of residues in here that you can't really get out unless you take apart the portafilter or whatever. You're not gonna have that with a naked portafilter. It's easy and quick to disassemble. Use this one or this one. Definitely not this one. Even if you're at home, maybe go and drink the second espresso as well, or maybe your roommate. So should you use the double spouted or the naked portafilter? It's really up to you. Of course, in a professional environment, if you have a lot of people just drinking cappuccino or a single espresso, it definitely makes sense to use the double spouted one. For a more especially coffee shop environment, it also makes sense to just use the naked portafilter, especially for a double espresso. Or for example, if you have a 3-group espresso machine, that's the way it used to be at the coffee shop I used to work at. We had 2 double spouted portafilter and 1 naked portafilter. So we'd always use this one for the double espresso, as you have a little bit of a different extraction and you seem to get a little bit more of crema on top of the espresso. Well, of course, crema doesn't taste great, looks pretty good on the espresso. To sum it up, I'd probably choose this one. For me, as a home barista, for example, I like to be a bit of a perfectionist when it comes down to the extraction of my espresso and to play around a little bit more. So I'd definitely go with the naked portafilter. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and might choose to use the naked portafilter every once in a while, or try switching to one anyways. I'd be very curious if you actually have one at home and use it and what your experience is with it. And yeah, that's it for today. I will see you next time. Until then, drink lots of good coffee. Bye.